Good morning. Here we are, Howell Creek Take 2. This is Redbug Road. There's a Albertsons Kmart parking lot there. This is about probably a half a mile from where I turned around last time between Dyke. And let's see where this one goes. It's about 4 miles to Lake Jessup from here. A mile and a half to the first takeout. So my biggest risk, I guess, is 1.4 miles up and have to turn around and come about 1.4 miles back. So I think I can handle it. So let's give it a try. Okay, I've been able to go, a few hundred yards, or what seemed to be a fairly decent stretch. And this is really the first blockage here and right there. So so far it's actually not been so bad. I have to admit I'm a little less motivated than I was 2 weeks ago when I was on it for the first time. So hopefully this will be a nicer stretch. Okay, so far this stretch between Redbug Road and Northern Boulevard, the southern side of it, has been pretty nice. A couple of trees like this one ahead that, even though they're fallen, they don't give you blockage. So far so good. Okay, here's an interesting piece. Too bad that it's all blocked up. It might have been fun to shoot the very loosely called term rapids. So looks like an easy carry around. But that would have been might have been fun to go over here. Okay, first wildlife of the day besides some birds. Anyway, a very, very large otter just ran up there. Too bad I didn't get a picture of him. He was probably one of the bigger otters I've seen. I've seen a lot of them out here. Oh, is that another stoppage there? Alright. Anyway, too bad the otter didn't stay around. Okay, here's Northern. So that stretch from Redbug to Northern is about a mile and a half. Again, just GPS. Obviously the winding of the river will make it a little longer. But a very navigable, maybe a dozen portages at most. But way better than last time. This is a somewhat ominous start here. Looks like we have maybe 2 blockages right away, but I'm hoping that it stays like this, because that's certainly doable. Alright, next takeout from here is Winter Springs Boulevard, about a mile straight as the GPS goes. This has actually been a nice section of the river. It's very narrow and swift flowing. There's a few overhangs and portages, but not too bad. But in really, really high water, I'll bet this thing is really flowing. It would be a challenge. Lots and lots of twists and turns and stuff. So not that I'll ever do this again, but if I were to do it again, I think it might be fun in very, very high water. Okay, I'm only stopping and showing you this one because this is the second one of these I've had in a row. And these just take a lot of energy. No big deal. Stand up on the thing and pull your kayak over. But you do this enough, it starts wearing on you, you know what I mean? So anyway, it's been a fun section of river, but there are still some major blockages like this one that you just gotta get out and do what needs to be done. This is just around the bend from my last video. So these are the ones you hate, because they take the most effort to drag up over. So if it was high water, it would be real difficult if this was fast moving. Anyway, so I'm just sharing my misery with you all. Just to further explain my misery, as you see, you can't go up around. You might be able to step up over there. Anyway, but the easiest thing to do is just jump on the log and then pull over. Okay, here's Winter Springs Boulevard. So that was about a mile or so from Northern that way, which aside from those, I guess, 3 big overhangs or fallen trees, it wasn't too bad a stretch. Anyway, so it's about 2.5 miles down and only about a mile and a half, again, just straight to Lake Jessup. So we're over halfway there. I've been on the water for about 2 hours. So normally, without infringements, a mile every half hour is fairly easy. So here it's taking about, an hour for each mile. So Anyway, so under that, guys, an hour and a half, I should be at Lake Jessup. Northern Boulevard, not too far away, and then 434, the next two takeout points. Well, I'm at the northern section of Northern Boulevard, and we've been going through a drought. It hasn't rained in a while, and it hasn't rained hard in a long while. And of course, now it's pouring down rain. Which I guess isn't always a bad thing, because I left my hat in my car and I lost my sunglasses during one of the portages. So at least it's not sunny. But once you're wet, you're already wet. I'm just draining the water out of my kayak before I get back on again, because it fills up quickly when it's raining this hard. This is Erdolf starting. This is the Cross Seminole Trail bike path. And when I rode over it, I saw this creek, and I thought, wow, that looks like a creek you could kayak. And that was the beginning of the adventure. And I will tell you that I'm getting tired of the rain. That little section had no blockages, but you couldn't enjoy it because of the pouring down rain. And there is a little bit of lightning, but it hasn't been too close so far. So, alright, next stop, 434. Gotta keep moving. Just another view. There's the bike path up there. And so I came down here to this nice little beach area, and I thought, darn, that's a nice little creek. You see lots of people do rope swings, and anyway, this would be nice, enjoyable right now, if not for the rain. Alright, this is a horrible one here. Nice and high, but not too high that you can't go under it. You just got to go over it. And unfortunately, the water is very deep here. So I need to strategize. Doesn't look like you can walk up around that very easily. And the other side over there is even worse. So, alright. Could be worse. Could be raining. Yes, it is. Okay, there's 434. So that stretch didn't take long. And there was only a couple of portages, or blockages I should say. Actually wouldn't have been too bad if not for the rain, and there's lightning. It's gotten fairly close. I'm hoping it's getting further now, because I could stand underneath the bridge there and take out there, or I could press forward to Lake Jessup. Since I've made it this far, let's keep going and hope the lightning holds off. I hope I'm not speaking too soon, but so far since 434 there's been no blockages, which is a very good thing, because we're getting very close to Lake Jessup, which if you know anything about Lake Jessup, I would say is one of the most alligator-infested lakes that there is, certainly in Central Florida. So I'm sure there's probably lots of gators along this stretch here right before we get to the lake. So I do not want to get out in the water here, especially since it seems to be very deep and the rain has made it very dark. So, but this has so far been a nice little stretch of river without any blockages, and kind of meandering, but hopefully I'm not looking at a blockage straight ahead of me here. Hopefully there's a tunnel through there or something. So, well, I spoke too soon. That was a blockage. I chose the only way I saw to get through, which is right through that little piece there, and I come to a dead end. So it obviously must split and go that way. So I think I'm actually going to try to walk rather than go back through there. So it can't be very far, because there's the river. It's got to be just right over there. So I'm getting out and walking through that. Alright. Well, this is weird. The river kind of split. Yikes. It was so wide. Anyway, I don't know if this is going to go through, or if I'm going to have to turn around. I mean, I'm so close. Let's see what's this way. Okay, it doesn't go through this way. Let me go back the other way. Crap, that'd be a bummer to have to go back to 434. But I can't make it through there. I mean, I guess I could if I was getting out walking around and all that, but I don't think so in this part of the creek. Well, there's where I was saying how nice it was. It came up to here. That way over there dead-ended. There's a little path that goes that way, or that dead-ended. This is the final one to try to get through, but I don't know if you can see. It doesn't get through. So, short of getting out and walking through the woods and dragging and not knowing where it would start again, I'm going to have to head back to 434. Which actually isn't too bad to make it that far, but to be this close, I mean, literally it's got to be a quarter of a mile to Lake Jessup there. And you see the run it's got nice current, which will be a pain in the butt to paddle against. But I just don't think I'm going to get out and walk through this. The water is very deep here. I don't know how deep it is. Actually, it's not all that deep. You just can't see to the bottom. But I'm not going to get out. Let me think about this, but I think I'm having to turn around. But I'm still calling this a success relatively. Darn. Let me do a little more exploring and just see if there's any options. Well, as you can see, I'm back at 434. Anyway, I just could not make it through. There was nothing. And I will tell you, going against the current is harder than going with the current. So, anyway, so that's the end of it. I don't think I'll ever be back on this creek again. But, at least I saw and did it, and I guess that's enough for me.